Hey Potterheads, and welcome to episode 9 of the Secret Keepers podcast, covering Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, chapters 11 through 13. Previously on the Secret Keepers.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the heir, beware.
Only Harry Potter will be able to find it, and only you know who will be able to find it.
I'm just curious if you think that Harry being the heir of Slytherin is any sort of remote possibility.
I would say it is a possibility just based off the book.
What spell did he use to fix his arm?
Muffler Manny. He turned him into the Muffler Man.
You mean the Michelin Man?
Oh, the Michelin.
Dobby reveals that it was he who blocked the barrier for Harry and Ron so they couldn't get back to school, and that he also bewitched the bludger to seriously injure Harry so that he would have to be sent home. Do you think Dobby overall is a good guy or a bad guy?
I think he's a mask. I don't think he's good or bad.
Colin Creevy, who was attacked and was petrified, holding his camera in front of his face. The Chamber of Secrets has indeed been opened again, but the question isn't who, the question is how.
Just heal him. As Jarek would say, magical helio.
Or at least Groyo Magic Drachios, you know?
Exactly.
This is the Secret Keepers.
Oh, there it is.
So you weren't recording. It's recording for 10 seconds. Taylor. You're supposed to count me in.
Oh,
Go ahead.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everybody, to our Secret Keepers podcast covering Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets, chapters 11 through 13. I'm your host, Colin.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jared, who you know already, the star of the show.
All right, yeah, as you've noticed, Taylor's back. He's back in action. Thanks to Stefan again for covering last time for us. But we got the whole squad back together here, and we got a nice long episode for you. So hopefully, strap in. It's going to be a little bit of a doozy, but we're going to get through it, and it's going to be great.
It has to be a long episode because you said it was going to be a long episode. What if it wasn't a long episode? Then you'd have to cut that out.
That's true, but it will. I have confidence in it.
Yeah, that took a long time to read it.
Yeah. So anyways, news of the day. We're fresh off our first camping trip together. How about that, huh? Big thanks to everybody that came out and showed up and had a good time with us. Those that didn't, well, next time you better, because it was a real good time. Yeah, any other news that we need to share with people that's pertinent to the day?
Oh, let's see. Not that I can think of. Nancy Pelosi went to a hair salon.
Okay.
That's the big news of the day.
Yeah, that is.
You know things are weird when the biggest news is Nancy Pelosi went to a hair salon.
Yeah. Well, with that great little introduction there, let's get right into it. Jared, hit us with that 30-second summary. Go.
Oh, boy. Okay, chapter 11 is called The Dueling Club. Harry and company participate in a dueling club, and we find out that Harry speaks snake. Chapter 12 is called The Polyjuice Potion. Ron and Harry use the potion to turn into Crabbe and Goyle, and then they talk to Malfoy. Hermione turns into a cat. Chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary. Harry finds a diary and is taken inside the memory of T.M. Riddle. And that is a very short summary on some long chapters.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have to. We're probably gonna speed through some of the non-important stuff in this chapter. We'll see. But yeah, let's just get right back into it then. Last we left off, Harry was overhearing Dumbledore questioning not who opened the Chamber of Secrets, but how it was opened, and we asked Jared a few questions about that. But this chapter starts with Harry waking from his adventurous night in the hospital wing with a healed arm, and he goes to look for Ron and Hermione, but it takes him a bit to find them. But eventually, once he finds them, in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, working on the Polyjuice potion. He begins to tell them about Colin, but they already knew. And Ron suspects that Draco did it after the Quidditch match because he was so mad that they lost. Harry then tells them about Dobby's visit and what Dobby told him, and they are stunned. Ron becomes convinced that Lucius, Malfoy that is, opened the Chamber of Secrets originally, and that Draco is now the heir, opening it once again. He also said he wishes Dobby said more about the monster and asked the question as to how it's getting around the school. He suggests maybe it can turn invisible, and Hermione suggests that maybe it can transfigure itself. Jared, quickly here, any thoughts about these ideas as compared to what you had originally thought?
So what Jared originally thought was that basically what was in the chamber was Pandora's box, right? Like it was some spirit
It's like a
or
box. Yeah, some sort of spirit thing. Do you have any new takes based off the information we gained from Dobby or from the hypotheses that Ron and Hermione put forth?
I just kind of forgot what they are putting for, so I'm looking back here.
Ron thinks that it can turn invisible, and Hermione suggests that it can transfigure itself into like a suit of armor or something like that and just hide in plain sight.
Well, I don't believe really anything Ron says.
That's a good take.
Okay.
Hermione, that's an interesting take, but I think it's kind of what I was thinking. Basically, is it's some sort of a secret. Yeah, I guess invisible would mean that it's something that exists. Yeah, I can see something to that one.
Okay. Well, the news about Colin Creevey has the school buzzing and traveling in a bunch of little packs. And Ginny, again, she seems really torn up by this because she sat next to Colin and Charms, and I guess they were really good friends or something. So she's all torn up about it. But as Christmas time nears, the squad all decide to stay over Christmas. And Malfoy, interestingly enough, is as well. So they decide this is the perfect opportunity to polyjuice themselves and to have a little chat with their good friend Malfoy. The only problem is they need a few more ingredients from Snape's private stores, so Hermione says she'll steal it while Harry and Ron create a diversion. So in the next potions class, as on cue, Harry throws one of Fred's filibuster fireworks into Goyle's cauldron, and it explodes, covering everybody in swelling solution. So everybody gets a lot of different mumps and bumps, and I think Draco gets a really big nose or something like that. But as everyone runs to the front of class to get the deflating draft, Hermione runs off and steals the ingredients. So Snape is quite upset about all this going on in his class and trying to figure out who has done it. But then the bell rings and class is dismissed. Now, I don't know why, but for some reason, the fact that they have a bell in this school, it just kind of hit me funny. Like, it doesn't really seem like that's what they would have, right?
Really, they're using wands and they're using quills and torches and candles. So like a bell, I mean, it's like kind of makes sense.
I guess
There's no electricity in this place. And they could use magic, but as to Jared's point, it's like they just don't use magic. They have magic, but they just don't use it.
Right. I guess maybe it could be like a church bell or something, but I was thinking more to like the bells you had in school where I don't know.
Like that.
That is not what any of my bells ever sounded like.
What? That's what my bell was like.
All right, Jared, what do yours sound like?
Ding-a-ling-ling.
Yeah, mine sounded just like that too. Anyways, Hermione ends up telling them that the potion will be ready in 2 weeks. So the squad, they roll up to the Great Hall, and there's a gathering of students around a sign that says a dueling club will be starting. So here you go. They're going to start using some of their magic against each other and learning a little bit about that. So they all sign up and they show up, and in the one and only Lockhart is their instructor, which they're all overly excited about. So Lockhart hops up on stage and introduces his assistant, Professor Snape, which Snape's not too thrilled about. But they both coolly present themselves, count to 3, and cast their first spells. Jared, we got a lot of them coming up right here.
Yeah, that's why it took me so long to read this chapter.
What does Snape? What spell does Snape cast? The first one.
All right, page 190. The first spell Snape casts. Snape cried, "Expelliarmus!"
It's pretty good. This is just better. This is just more evidence of how Jared knows nothing.
Yeah. Well, he cast. Yes, he cast Expelliarmus, and he blasts.
Expelliarmus.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it is what you said. He blasts Lockhart off the stage. Fast facts about this spell: it is mostly used to disarm an opponent's wand, but it will cause anything the target is holding to fly out of their hands, which I did not know. So that's interesting. Anyways, Taylor, you're the Lockhart voice. He gets back up on his feet. Yeah, remember, your Lockhart voice is just you talking.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say we could change that, but I'll leave it.
Well, you can leave. Here's your opportunity. He gets back onto his feet, and then what's this nice little quirky thing that Lockhart's got for him?
Well, there you have it, he said, tottering back onto the platform. That was a disarming charm. As you see, I've lost my wand. Thank you, Miss Brown. Yes, an excellent idea to show them, Professor Snape, but if you don't mind me saying so, it was very obvious that you were about to do that. If I had wanted to stop you, it would have been only too easy. However, I felt it would be instructive to let them see.
Yes, classic Lockhart right there. They then decide to pair up the students, and Harry, after trying to get paired with Ron and Hermione, ends up getting paired with none other than Draco Malfoy. Lockhart counts down from 3 for them to cast their first spells in their little duels with each other, but Malfoy starts on 2 and smacks Harry with the spell, which they don't tell us what it is, I don't think. Must not be that important. But Harry quickly recovers and hits Malfoy with what spell, Jared, and what does it do?
Is the tarantula one?
Yes.
Oh boy, this one's hard. Tarantalegra.
Yeah, I think that's it. Tarantalegra. Yeah. Malfoy shoots out a Tarantalegra spell, and it makes his legs dance like crazy as well. And then Snape jumps in and shuts it all down. But fast facts about this spell can work on targets other than humans. In 79 AD, Warlock Zaccaria Innocente used this spell to cause a dance within Mount Vesuvius. Isn't Mount Vesuvius like the Pompeii volcano?
JK's making this all up. That didn't happen.
It did. It said it in the spell book.
She's full of it.
But is that the Pompeii volcano?
I think so.
So some dude accidentally cast this spell, and then a volcano erupted and killed millions of people. Nice.
Not Vesuvius. Let me look it up. Vesuvius. I think so, because it's in Italy, and
the guy sounds Italian.
Yeah, it's Pompeii.
Pompeii.
AD 79. Yeah, AD 79. Wow,
Look at that.
That's pretty morbid there, JK.
It is a little bit. Interesting fact, though. I had never knew that about this spell, so the more you know.
Interesting fact about Pompeii, that it was erupted by a wizard.
Yeah. So, yeah, Lockhart then decides to teach the students how to defend themselves, and Snape again chooses Harry and Malfoy as demonstrators. After a little coaching from Snape on Malfoy's end and Lockhart trying to say something to Harry that makes no sense at all, Harry's all sorts of confused. Lockhart counts them down once again, and Draco casts another spell. Jared, hit us with that spell.
Finite incantatem.
Nope. But
I was just ready for that one.
that's the one. That's what Snape casts. Actually, I should have looked up. What's the fast facts on that one? Let me see if they have any. I don't know if they do. I forgot about that one.
It just means stops all spells.
Yeah, everything stops. Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, I think so.
Finite incantatem or something. Pretty close. But that's not the spell I'm looking for. Well, what's the spell that Draco casts at Harry?
Serpensortia.
Serpensortia, yes. And according to the official Warner Brothers Harry Potter website, so this is definitely official, this snake summon spell was invented in India and is illegally used by those who Muggles call snake charmers.
That's funny.
Very interesting indeed. But yes, he casts the Serpensortia spell, and a snake bursts out of Draco's wand and gets face to face with Harry. Lockhart steps in to fix it, but instead he just ticks off the snake even more, like it's about to attack Justin Finch Fletchley. Harry, being the good guy that he is, runs forward and tells the snake to stop, and it does. Everyone gets a little bit freaked out, and we shortly learn that Harry is actually, I'm going to let Jared say this word.
Parcel mouth.
Parcel mouth. Yeah, he's a parcel mouth, even though Harry did not know it. So, yeah, did this ring any bells for you, Jared, when you were going through this about Harry's interactions with snakes in the first book?
No, I didn't remember that until they told me.
Okay. So,
He's
yeah.
surprising. That is shocking. He read it probably a year ago, so.
You think babies speak parcel mouth? But not in snake language, of course. It's a baby language.
I think so, Jared.
All right, okay.
There could be something.
That was
to
my
that.
thought when I read that.
It's like that thing where, like that theory that if you're a baby under the age of like 2, you can see like ghosts and stuff, and that's why they just scream at nothing because they see ghosts and they're scared. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have. That's creepy. I don't like it. Stop talking about it right now.
Okay, we're done with it.
I have 2 babies.
Yeah, well, I got one on the way, so I got to get those out now while I can.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Where are we? Oh, yes. Harry tells the squad that this is the second time he's spoken to Snake, but he thought it was something that loads of people could do. He tells Ron that he told the snake not to attack Justin, but no one could tell what he said, and they thought maybe he was egging the snake on, because of course they are. They're dumb kids.
And it sounded like a
Yeah. Hermione also says that Parseltongue was a Salazar Slytherin thing. So there's a chance Harry is actually a descendant of Slytherin. Jared, what do you think about that?
Well, my big hot take of this 3 chapters is going to come out right here.
Oh, baby.
Oh, man.
But I think there's obviously something that has to happen with Harry and Slytherin, because it keeps coming up. Malfoy's in Slytherin, and based off these 3 chapters, I'm going to say eventually Malfoy and Harry are going to work together. I don't know in what fashion or shape it's going to come together yet, but that's the connection to Slytherin that I have is with Malfoy. So Malfoy is going to work with Harry in some capacity, even though they hate each other, to defeat you-know-who. Anyways, that's my hot take.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that was quite
So
interesting.
Are you saying that that's going to be like, you're thinking that's going to be like the climax of this book then?
I don't know if it comes in this book or not, but at some point along the line, Harry and Malfoy are going to they're gonna need each other. Maybe Malfoy, they need something from Malfoy or his dad or something to continue their journey.
Okay. That is a really big take, Jared. It's a good summation of these 3 chapters. Yeah. So where are we at? The next day, Harry runs off to find Justin to explain everything to him, but he overhears an interesting conversation from a group of Hufflepuffs, Jared included, because he's a Hufflepuff, in the library.
This is Ernie? Okay. Ernie's
Ernie-
Scottish, I think. So, anyway, a stout boy was saying, I told Justin to hide up in our dormitory. I meant to say, if Potter's marked him down as his next victim, it's best if he keeps a low profile for a while. Of course, Justin's been waiting for something like this to happen. Ever since he let slip to Potter he was a muggle-born. Justin actually told him he'd been down for Eton?
Yeah, I think it's a British school.
Oh, Eton. I forgot about that. That's not the kind of thing you bandy about with Slytherin's heir on the loose now, is it?
You definitely think it's Potter then, Ernie?
Hannah.
That was a good Hannah.
That was a really good Hannah. Okay, Hannah, he's a Parselmouth. Everyone knows that's the mark of a dark wizard. Have you ever heard of a decent one who could talk to snakes? They called Slytherin himself the Serpent Tongue. Remember what was written on the wall? Enemies of the heir, beware. Oh man, they'd probably shoot me in Scotland or wherever Ernie's from.
You got a kilt growing out of you right now.
Ernie lowered his voice mysteriously. The Hufflepuffs bent closer, and Harry edged near so they could catch Ernie's words. No one knows how he survived the attack by you-know-who. I mean to say, he was only a baby when it happened. He should have been blasted into smithereens. Only a really powerful dark wizard could have survived a curse like that. That's probably why you-know-who wanted to kill him in the first place. Didn't want another Dark Lord competing with them. I wonder what other powers Potter's been hiding.
Very good, Taylor. I'm impressed. I mean, Ernie. Thanks for stopping by, Ernie. Jared, what do you think about this conversation?
I think it's all fluff.
You don't think an 11-year-old could be a dark wizard?
Nope.
Well, I mean, you say that, but it kind of ties into the point that you had about Harry being. This is like the polar opposite of what you thought, right? Like you said, Harry's all good, so that's why he beat him. And they're saying Harry's all bad, and that's why he beat him. Like, so there's a little bit of a tie in there to what you had thought, right?
Right, and I'm going to assume that Harry does have more powers than what we've come across. But I would also assume that you're going to need more powers to defeat you-know-who than maybe all good powers.
Jared, let's check again. Let's check one more time. What's you-know-who's name?
Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, see, he's
all right,
got
just
it.
wanted to make sure you remembered.
So Jared, based off what you were just saying, you think Harry's going to have to tap into some dark magic to defeat Voldemort?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting take.
Or at least he understands it enough so that he can understand his opponent's tactics or something.
Okay.
And maybe there's only, I don't know, maybe you have to defeat some dark magic with dark magic.
Yeah. Could be. So yeah, Harry steps out. He's sick of this, and he steps out to confront the group, but they are not convinced that he's not trying to get Ernie or Justin. So he storms off and runs to Hagrid, and it turns out that something's been killing some of Hagrid's roosters, which is just a interesting fact that Hagrid decided to drop there. But Harry continues on his way, and he trips over something. And when he gets up, his stomach just drops right out of him. It's Justin, Finch, Fletchley, and Nearly Headless Nick, both petrified, and there's some sort of spiders scuttling off away from their bodies. Peeve rats out Harry, and the students and teachers all run out from their classrooms, and they say that Harry is caught in the act.
Caught in the act!
You just scared me, Taylor. Oh, man. But the chapter ends with McGonagall sending everyone off and taking Harry up to Dumbledore's office.
To give him a
So-
spanking.
So, Jared, any new takes on what in the world is going on here now that Justin Finch-Flenchley, who was apparently a target of Harry, and Nearly Headless Nick, who is a ghost, somehow are both petrified?
I don't have a take per se. I don't understand why there's the spiders. The spiders still get me. Why every time someone gets petrified, there's spiders crawling away. I guess it's just food for thought for later, maybe.
I doubt it'll come up again.
We can just shelve that one.
Yeah,
can
shelve
shelve.
that away. At least
Okay.
remind me again
Yep.
when I forget about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it is interesting that those two guys, after the Hufflepuff guys talked about it, and then those two are petrified. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I just want to see what you think about this. Do you think it's possible that someone, not necessarily Ernie, but someone at that Hufflepuff table is the one doing this and they're trying to frame Harry?
No.
Okay.
Not of themselves. I don't know where who is slithering around.
I don't think the Hufflepuff would do that. Do you, Jared? It's your house. I think you would know.
Oh, Hufflepuffs are clueless, aren't they?
They're all duffers.
They're supposed to be friendly, right? They're not being very friendly, so maybe there's a bad egg in there. Just another food for thought. Maybe shelve that one away.
Yeah, I think you're leading me down a blind hole.
All right. Yeah, that brings us to the next chapter then. So how are we doing for time? That was a pretty quick one. That wasn't too bad. Chapter 12, the Polyjuice Potion.
I hope Ernie's
So
in this chapter.
What?
I like talking like Ernie. I hope Ernie's in this chapter.
So the chapter starts and Harry walks into Dumbledore's office and tries on the sorting hat again because he thinks maybe he should have been sorted into Slytherin. The hat reassures him that he put him in the right house, but he tells him that he would have done great things in Slytherin. So interesting thing there. Just then, Harry hears a choking noise and turns around to see Dumbledore's pet bird behind him. And Harry thinks to himself, all he needs is for the bird to die while in Dumbledore's office, while he's alone with it. And then simultaneously, the bird just bursts into flames.
Jared, I gotta ask you a question right now. Did you think that this bird was a flamingo?
I have that down here later too, Taylor.
Yep.
Oh well.
Just a little breaking down
Insert here where Jared talks about a flamingo on the front of the book.
Flamingo. Just describe the cover first.
Okay, so Harry is holding a large bird by the tail.
Okay.
It looks kind of like a red flamingo.
Just a little breaking down the fourth wall here for you. We were out camping and Jared was reading this and he just burst out laughing. Is this where you were laughing, Jared? Is this what you're laughing about?
No, I never caught that.
Oh,
Really?
man.
No.
I
No.
thought
you laughing
I'm
about
sure that was this.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, maybe we'll get
The
to
thing
it.
I was laughing about is much dumber than that. I didn't even realize that this phoenix was on the cover.
Till right now?
Yeah, till right now at this
Oh,
moment.
Taylor.
My mind is still being blown. I'm like trying to read right now and look at the cover to see what's going on here a second. So
Okay, so
you got to give me a minute here.
Let's revisit what the cover is, Jared. What do you think is going on the cover?
Well, hold on. We'll get back to that in just a second here. We can touch off that. I want to get through this Dumbledore's office scene bit here first. Anyway, so yeah, the bird bursts into flames and Harry's freaking out. Just then, the door opens and Jared, who walks in?
Dumbledore.
Crikeys! Welcome back to Merlin Irwin's Magical Creatures podcast within a podcast. What do we have today? Blimey, it looks like we have a beautiful phoenix. This creature is rated a 4X creature, meaning only trained wizards should handle them, which makes sense why old Dumbledore has one. These are magnificent creatures and have a lot of characteristics. So buckle down as they're coming in rapid fire. These creatures are capable of bursting into flames and being reborn out of its own ashes. Their tears have healing powers. They're immune to the gaze of a basilisk. They can carry immense weights with their tail feathers. They are capable of bursting into flames and traveling with anyone who's touching them. And their song brings courage to those who are of good heart. More commonly, they are known for their tail feathers being used as a core for wands of wizards, but from time to time, they are referred to by muggles as a big red flamingo. That's all I got, though, so enjoy your time with this beautiful creature.
Oh man, you got me on the Dumbledore entry.
Oh boy.
I'm crying over here. Okay, now we can revisit the cover if you'd like. All right, Jared. Oh, hold on. We got to get back into that bit. What was that? Ba-da-bum, 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 bum, 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 bum. Welcome to
NFL.
Judge a Book by its cover. Take two. Go ahead, Jared.
I have more questions than answers now. Why is he grabbing the phoenix? So he's trying to get a tail feather of the phoenix?
Yeah, maybe he's making a wand.
It doesn't seem likely. It seems like the phoenix is taking him somewhere.
Oh, could be. Where would the phoenix be taken?
I don't know. He said he carried heavy loads. Who knows?
What else is on the cover again?
Harry Potter.
Oh,
Snakes.
okay.
So he speaks to snakes.
Well, I got that one.
There's probably the Chamber of Secrets.
Okay. He says that right above the door, so good job.
But that's not the Chamber of Secrets. That's just an entryway.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's anything else on here.
Okay. Well,
doesn't Harry have a sword or something? Or a
Yep.
cape or something?
Sword and a cape.
Sword and a cape.
turned into Superman.
Sure.
Sure.
It's his invisibility cloak and a sword, which I guess I didn't even realize he carried a sword.
Yeah. The more you know. Okay. Yeah, so Merlin leaves the room, and then who enters the room, Jared?
Dumbledore?
Yeah. Then Dumbledore enters the room, and he tells us a whole lot of what Merlin just did. He knows Harry didn't kill his bird, and is actually glad that his bird named Fox finally decided to burst into flames and be reborn. So just as Harry and Dumbledore sit down, Hagrid bursts in and tries to convince Dumbledore that it wasn't Harry who did it because he was just with him. But Dumbledore calms him down and says he doesn't think that it was Harry either. He then asks Harry...
Oh, said Hagrid. Right. I'll wait outside then, headmaster.
Then Dumbledore asks Harry a very interesting question.
I must ask you. Oh wait, is this Dumbledore? Dumbledore's asking Harry.
I must ask you, Harry, whether there is anything you'd like to tell me, he said gently. Anything at all.
That's not my Dumbledore voice. That's not my
your
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Try again.
I must ask you, Harry, whether there is anything you'd like to tell me, he said gently. Anything at all?
And Harry thinks of all the different things going on with the polyjuice potion, the voices in his head, the speaking to snakes, what everyone was saying about him being heir of Salazar Slytherin, and he just says, "No, there isn't anything, Professor." And the scene fades to dark.
Next act. Action.
Dumbledore knows.
Dumbledore knows what?
He knows Harry's hiding things.
You think he knows what Harry's hiding, though?
Or something?
What?
You think he knows what Harry's hiding, though?
He might have some clues. I don't know if he knows everything. There might be things that only Harry understands, which is why only Harry can defeat this you-know-who or whatever. But Dumbledore knows. It's like the teachers. Teachers know what's going on to some extent. They might not know all the details, but they know what's going on. And I think Dumbledore, in this case, is the same. He knows what's going on. And he knows maybe some of the details and maybe some of the people that are involved, but he might not know the extent, or I don't know.
Okay. Would you have done anything different if you were Harry?
I don't know. I'm not Harry.
So you wouldn't have confided everything in
I don't
Dumbledore?
know. I guess it depends on how much trust Harry has in Dumbledore. If I trusted Dumbledore 100%, then yeah, but if now that I don't trust anybody in this whole book, if you didn't trust him, then maybe then I would say no. Then I would just figure it out.
Okay.
But yes, if I was an 11-year-old or 14-year-old or however old Harry is, I probably would have told.
Okay.
And cried at the same time.
All right. Well, I guess we move on then. It is Christmas at Hogwarts again. Yay! Cue the music. Cue the music. And Hermione somehow gets into their dormitory. She bursts into the room, telling them the potion is ready. And I'm all sorts of lost right now.
Well, you skipped all his presents.
No, we're right. Oh, that's where we're at right here. Harry opens his presents, and he gets some toffee, a book from Ron about a bunch of Quidditch stuff, I think, his favorite team, a fancy eagle quill from Hermione. I have a sweater, and to top it all off, a toothpick from the Dursleys.
Oh, that's so nice of them.
Yeah, I think didn't last year they give him like a dirty sock or something. So it's a step
Coat
up,
hanger
I guess.
something.
Coat hanger. Yeah. And they go down to the Great Hall, and it's all decked out for Christmas. And Hermione comes and tells them they still need a piece of whoever they're going to turn into. And she has a plan that involves drugging other students. So it seems like Hermione's really off the deep end here. Anybody with me? No? All right. Well, the plan to get the hairs is they float these little cupcakes or whatever in the air or on a banister or something, chock full of sleeping draft, and it goes swimmingly. And they get the hairs. They pull Crabbe and Goyle into the closet, take all their stuff, and they go to Myrtle's bathroom to take the potion. So they add the hairs, and Hermione adds Millicent Bulstrode to hers, which in her potion turns golden yellow. Goyle's turns khaki booger color, and Crabbe's turns dark brown. And the one Harry drank, which I think was Crabbe's, tasted like overcooked cabbage. So this begs the question, what color and flavor would your polyjuice potion be?
Are you asking me
Skittles.
or Jared?
Skittles.
Taste the rainbow.
Well, I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, because I imagine it has something like reflects something about your personality.
Mine would taste like coffee.
Yeah, yours would taste like coffee.
Colin's would taste like Mountain Dew, and Jared's would taste like cappuccino.
Oh, thank you, Taylor. So you think I'm a nice, sweet boy? That's really nice.
That's not what I was implying. I was implying you're a fatty and you drink a lot of Mountain Dew.
Hey, I'm one day clean, so back off, bro. Also, the other question I want to ask: if you could polyjuice potion into one person for an hour, who would it be?
Jennifer Aniston.
I don't know. What a weird question.
Hey, all you viewers listening right now, you can submit your suggestions. I think to us somehow.
Patreon.com.
Or I think we have a Facebook.
$5.
We have a Facebook page, or you could tweet us. But okay, I was gonna say something like I'd probably turn into one of my brothers just so I could know what it's like to be tall and skinny instead of just a huge lump. But
Oh, I know. I do the president.
I knew you were gonna do that. I knew you were gonna do
Wouldn't
that.
that be interesting?
No, that would be awful.
Well, you'd probably die. So
Very quickly, probably too.
probably, yeah.
Anyways, so they take the potion, they turn into their body doubles, and then take off to find the Slytherin common room. And Hermione insists that she stay behind. Jared, did you have any ideas as to why she wanted to stay behind at this point, or did you just kind of take that as she just wants to?
Well, I figured something went wrong. I thought she was, I don't know.
She like
I was
transfigured.
more thinking like she didn't have clothes on or something like that. She couldn't leave, so she was. I
Okay.
had no idea what like.
Okay. So yeah, they head to the dungeons because they know that's where the Slytherins kind of come up for food and stuff, and they run into Percy, who's by himself strolling around the dungeons and seeming very confident that he won't get attacked. Jared, do you have any thoughts to what Percy is doing down there?
No, but Percy keeps coming up, so he's an interesting feller.
Yeah.
And I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what they're. I don't really know what these prefects do or are or.
I think they're like a upgraded hall monitor, right? Would you
But
say
what
that?
like powers do they have or?
They
Well,
can-
they got to be what, fifth year students? Fifth year students, so they've got 5 years of schooling. They can take away points from houses, and they can give you detentions and stuff like that.
Yeah, but how come we don't hear about any other prefects?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. He keeps coming up, so I'm shelving him as well for later
Okay.
use.
Okay. Yeah, so anyways, as they're down there, they're talking to Percy a little bit, and they run into Malfoy, who takes them into the common room. So they are successfully getting into the Slytherin common room. He shows them a clipping that says Mr. Weasley's in some big trouble with the Ministry, and that he and his father hope Dumbledore gets fired because of the attacks that are going on. And we finally learn that he doesn't know who the heir of Slytherin is, but he wishes that he did. We also find out a bit about what happened last time the chamber was opened, and that it was 50 years ago, that last time someone died, and that the person who opened it was sent to Azkaban, at least for a time. And on a side note, we find out that the Malfoys have a lot of dark artifacts hidden below some trapdoor or something at their home. So Jared, I don't know if this will this changes your mind about anything at all, but does this influence your idea as to who the heir of Slytherin is? I don't remember, but I don't think you thought it was Malfoy, but
No, I always did not think it was Malfoy because I didn't think he had enough powers.
all right.
And again, I said that Ron. I didn't believe anything Ron said, and Ron believed it was Malfoy, so then it couldn't be Malfoy. So no, this didn't surprise me.
Okay.
I guess what did surprise me is how they made it through this without getting caught or anything. I kept reading through this really fast, trying to figure out when they were going to get caught, when something bad was going to happen, and then it never happened. So then I had to reread it and actually get some of the details. But
Classic.
so
Okay. Yeah, so everything goes pretty smoothly. They start changing a little bit before they wanted to, so they got to run out of the room. But the chapter ends with Ron and Harry running back to Hermione and finding out that she turned into Millicent Bulstrode's cat. So yes, Jared, now we actually have a human that looks like a cat.
Ah, flashbacks.
It all comes full circle.
So I was right.
Yeah. Insert clip of Jared saying McGonagall is a human that looks like a cat. He introduces us to McGonagall, who is also the cat that was reading the map.
Yeah,
And
well,
he-
what do you think of that, Jared? That was something, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't really understand how that worked.
Well, you see, she was a cat, and
Yeah,
then,
and then she
he
became
was
a
a human.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what happened.
She was a human who looked like a cat.
No, she's a human.
Oh.
And then she was a
giant
cat. Yeah, she's just a big old cat.
All right, yeah, so that's the end of that chapter. On to the next one, chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary. Let's see. This chapter starts off with Harry and Ron visiting Hermione in the infirmary because she's a cat when they hear a ruckus from the floor above. Ron and Harry go to investigate and see it's Myrtle crying in the bathroom and making a mess, which is interesting because she's a ghost, so I didn't know that they could like move matter or anything like that. But somehow she's able to do like clog the toilet or something. There's water everywhere and they're spouting everywhere. But anyways, they go to talk with her and they find out that someone threw a book at her. Harry and Ron go over to pick up the book that's still laying there, and the only thing written on it is a name, T.M. Riddle. Ron tells us he recognizes that name from an award for special services to the school that he had to clean when they got detention, either earlier this book or the last book. And that was this book. And Harry surmises that Mr. Riddle was a Muggle-born because it was bought from a Muggle store, the diary, that is. And that's all we find out about Riddle at this point. And Harry decides to just keep the book. Hermione gets better, and Harry shows her the book, and Hermione does a little logic puzzle and comes to the conclusion that since this book is 50 years old, and that's when the Chamber of Secrets was last opened, because that's what Malfoy told them, that Riddle must have caught the heir of Slytherin and would know all about the chamber and the monster. So Hermione tries a plethora of different spells and tricks to get the book to reveal everything, but none of them work. So some time passes, and it seems the mandrakes are getting ready, close to ready, and the attacks have seemed to die down. So Lockhart decides to cheer everyone up with a blowout Valentine's Day party, which I actually had completely forgotten about. I don't remember that at all. But Harry ends up getting a Valentine's Day and a Valentine's Day song from, I think, the Little Goblin. It was a goblin that had it. That's on page 238. Taylor, hit us with that song.
This is a good one. Jim Dale does the best. Okay. Let's see.
You need a little beat? You need to drop a little beat for you?
His eyes are as green as a fresh pickled toad. His hair is as dark as a blackboard. I wish he were mine. He's really divine. The hero who conquered the Dark Lord.
Wow. Very good.
Well, I mean, that was a rip-off Jim Dale's version, but
Oh, come on. That was a really good tune and everything. I was impressive. So Harry's trying to get away from this song and the goblin and everything, and he's all sorts of embarrassed. And he ends up tripping, and all his books go everywhere and get covered in ink, and Malfoy picks up the diary. And then Ginny gets really nervous about it, probably wondering what Harry wrote in there about her. And before Malfoy can read it, Harry Expelliarmuses Malfoy and takes the diary back and notices that it's the only book not covered in ink. So that night, Harry begins writing in the diary to try and test things out, and it begins writing back, and then it disappears right back into the page. And the diary tells Harry all kinds of good, juicy stuff. Taylor, you want to hit us with that?
Hello, Harry Potter. My name is Tom Riddle. How did you come by my diary?
Someone tried to flush it down a toilet.
Oh wow.
That was a good Harry writing voice, right?
Quick and to the point. Okay. Luckily that I recorded my memories in some more lasting way than ink. But I always knew that there would be those who would not want this diary read.
What do you mean?
I mean that this diary holds memories of terrible things. Things that were covered up. Things that happened at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
That's where I am now. I'm at Hogwarts and horrible stuff's been happening. Do you know anything about the Chamber of Secrets?
Of course I know about the Chamber of Secrets. In my day, they told us it was a legend that did not exist, but this was a lie. In my 5th year, the chamber was opened and the monster attacked several students, finally killing one. I caught the person who'd opened the chamber and he was expelled. But the headmaster, Professor Dippet, ashamed that such a thing had happened at Hogwarts, forbade me to tell the truth. A story was given out that the girl had died in a freak accident. They gave me a nice, shiny, engraved trophy for my trouble and warned me to keep my mouth shut. But I knew it could happen again. The monster lived on, and the one who had the power to release it was not imprisoned.
It's happening again now. There have been 3 attacks, and no one seems to know who's behind them. Who was it last time?
I can show you, if you'd like. You don't have to take my word for it. I can take you inside my memory of the night when I caught him.
So Harry hesitates a little bit, and then all of a sudden a little glowing, dark, shimmering picture, or almost, I guess, shows up on the page. And he saw fresh words forming that said,
Let me show you.
and Harry paused for a fraction of a second and then wrote 2 letters. Okay. So the pages of the diary began to blow, and as if they're caught by a high wind, and stopping halfway through the month of June, Harry saw a little square for June 13th that seemed to have turned into a minuscule television screen. And as he presses his face closer and closer, he gets pulled into the diary. So he gets pulled into the diary and he drops off into Professor Dippet's office, who is the headmaster at Hogwarts. So it doesn't look anything like Dumbledore has it set up right now, but he's there, and Harry hasn't quite figured out that he's in like a memory yet, so he tries to communicate with him, but Professor Dippet is unresponsive to him. So then Harry kind of figures he's in a memory. So then Tom Riddle, who we learn his name in here, comes into the office and is told he can't stay at Hogwarts over the summer because of all the attacks that are going on. Tom then asks if the person was caught, if that would change anything, hinting that he might know something. But when he was asked about it, he denies it. He then heads into the dungeons, and Harry follows him, and they wait for nearly an hour, it seems, to Harry at least, till he hears someone walk down the hall. So Riddle follows, and they come upon Hagrid talking to something, saying,
Come on, gotta get you out of here. Come on now, in the box.
and Harry says there's something familiar about this voice, recognizing that it was Hagrid's voice. So Tom tells Hagrid that he's turning him in, and he's going to kill the creature that killed the girl, which Hagrid denies, but it's too late for them. Riddle casts a spell which blasts open the door that Hagrid's standing in front of, and a vast, low-slung, hairy body and tangle of black legs, a gleam of many eyes, and a pair of razor-sharp pincers bowls over Tom and runs out of the room, and then the scene fades to black. So Harry wakes up back on the table to Ron, who's wondering where he was, and the chapter ends with Harry telling Ron that it was Hagrid that opened the Chamber of Secrets 50 years ago. So, Jared, where do we want to start with this?
Yeah, so many questions.
What do you think about this revelation, first of all?
Well, my first inclination is not to believe it, which might be surprising, but yeah, I have mixed feelings about it. I just don't think it's Hagrid that opened it. Hagrid obviously knows more or is involved in some way.
Okay. Well, okay. How about that creature or whatever it was that knocked Tom over and ran out of the room and fled? The creature. Well, I guess Do you have any idea of what you think that creature looked like, or what it would be, or if that's in the Chamber of Secrets?
So what? Time out. So in this room there was Riddle, right?
Riddle, Harry,
Riddle,
and Hagrid.
Rubeus, or whoever this wasn't Rubeus in
Rubeus
this.
Hagrid. Rubeus
Rubeus.
Hagrid.
What? That's the same
person.
guy?
Hagrid. Yes, that's Hagrid's first name.
No, that's why I'm all confused.
Yeah. So, in this room is I picture it like this. There's a small room that they walk into, and there's a door at the back of that room. And Rubeus Hagrid is holding a box, and Tom walks in, and Hagrid is trying to get this creature that's behind that door into this box to take him away. And Tom says that it's over for Hagrid. Hagrid denies it, and Tom blasts the door open to kill the creature, and it runs and bowls over Tom and runs out of the room.
What was the description of the creature again? It had.
It was a vast, low-slung, hairy body, a tangle of black legs, a gleam of many eyes, and a pair of razor-sharp pincers.
Yeah, at first I had almost thought that was Hagrid. Yeah, so I guess my initial thought is, just based off what Hagrid's kind of been described like, is he's trying to do things himself. And so Hagrid, maybe he caught this thing, or he's trying to contain this thing and was trying to deliver it himself. I guess I'm not convinced to say that Hagrid opened the chamber yet.
So are you saying that Hagrid captured the creature or whatever is in the Chamber of Secrets, and then he was going to turn it in? Is that what you're saying? But he wasn't the one that opened the chamber?
Yes. At least that's kind of my initial thought. I'm hesitant to say that Hagrid opened the chamber, because Dumbledore was around at that time, so Dumbledore would know, I would think. I don't know. I got so many questions in my mind. I go one way and then I go the other.
So you don't think that Hagrid opened the Chamber of Secrets, correct?
I don't think that at this point.
Okay.
I mean, obviously that's just kind of laid out there right now. That's what
But yeah,
Harry said, but I don't believe that right now.
Well, that's what this diary from 50 years ago showed him. So you're saying that the diary is just made up? It's not real?
I think the diary is real. And what he's showing us is real. But it didn't say in there that Hagrid opened it, right? It just Hagrid was caught in this act of something.
Well, so I think from the perspective of the diary, which is Riddle's diary, he sees Hagrid trying to get this creature into a box. So I guess from his perspective, you would say that he's like taking care of this creature. That would be from the Chamber of Secrets and doing the killing. So he kind of associated Hagrid with opening the Chamber of Secrets. Like from his point of view, that's what's happening, right?
Right. That's how he connected the dots.
Right. So this creature, do you have any like?
My only thought would be a dragon or of some sort, because when did Hagrid well, he had that egg again, or way in the beginning of whatever book we read.
Yep.
Whatever happened to that thing? Maybe he has some knowledge or some experience with that. So maybe he had a pet dragon that became bad, and maybe you know who entered the dragon or maybe it was it was Hagrid's pet that became bad, and I don't know. I'm just hesitant to say that Hagrid opened it.
Okay, so let's run with that. Hagrid didn't open it. Do you think that this creature is the creature from the Chamber of Secrets and Hagrid caught it and was going to turn it in?
So I guess first you're implying there's a creature in the Chamber of Secrets. Do we know that?
Well, that's the whole mythology around it is that there's some sort of Slytherin's monster, right? So that's what Riddle's saying. This is here, or Tom Riddle is saying that this is here is this creature that's with Hagrid. That's this big, hairy, leggy, eye, razory, sharp, pincery creature is the one that is from the Chamber of Secrets, and that's what's doing the killing. So if he catches that, then he can stay at school over the summer. So that's his motivation behind it. He wants to stay at school over the summer, and so he found Hagrid with this creature that obviously is some sort of massive creature that isn't supposed to be in school or anything like that. So you tie that to the Chamber of Secrets. That's Slytherin's monster. That's what's doing the killing.
Yeah, I'm not sold.
So you think this thing was a dragon? Obviously, Harry saw what it was, but they gave a he gave a pretty brief description of what it was.
Well, I think the description of what it is from Harry's point of view. So it's like, this door blasts open and this thing just bursts out of it, right?
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like
how I took it.
you're not going to get a great look at it. You're going to pick up some details of it, but you're not going to.
Yep.
But a big creature like that ain't. Yeah, it's not hiding around somewhere, in my opinion. I mean, you would find that thing unless it has some sort of a power or is controlled by something else.
Or it could turn invisible.
And so it's just been sitting invisible for 50 years?
Maybe it was sleeping. Well, that goes back to the Chamber of Secrets. Like the Chamber of Secrets needs to be opened for it to come out. Right?
Yeah. The creature does remind me of a spider. That's kind of like a gigantic spider. So maybe the little spiders are like subservient to this spider.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what the creature reminded me of. Like when you just think lots of legs or
Low slung, hairy body,
Yes,
tangle
yes.
of black legs, gleam
Yes.
of many eyes, razor sharp pincers.
yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
So that's what it reminded me of. I don't know. It doesn't seem likely that it's connected to the spiders, but maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hesitant to say, like I said, that Hagrid has any part, or that Hagrid's a bad guy, I guess.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. Based off this whole secret diary stuff, does any of it have any implication for like the Chamber of Secrets or later on, or do you think this, like, it kind of sounds like you think this is all just a bunch of nonsense?
No, I think there is something to some of this stuff. I don't think it's been fully, like, I think it'll be used to find out more. Like maybe June the 13th will come up as a date that they'll need to hit, or maybe it'll be in that room, or maybe they can talk to Hagrid to figure out more, or stuff like this. So now they have more pieces that they can use to solve the puzzle, but the puzzle hasn't been solved. This is just pieces of it that they can use to move forward.
So what's all this about the diary, Jared? What do you think about the diary?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, that's a new
Myrtle's
type of
toilet
magic we haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, more questions that I had too were, and I guess before I dive into that was, where is this Riddle guy? Is he dead? Is he a ghost? Is he just non-existent? The same with the old headmaster, Dippets. Did he just fall off the face of the planet, or where do these guys go?
That was 50 years ago, so you imagine that dude would be like, what, 62-ish by now? I mean, I don't know what year it said he was in, but he'd probably be in his mid to late 60s or 70s.
So he's around somewhere.
Well, unless he died of like old age or something like that. I mean, same thing with Professor Dippet.
Don't they become ghosts?
So maybe there's a ghost around.
So maybe they can find more information from those guys, but I don't know. Yeah, and that was interesting too. That this diary gets thrown down the toilet or something. I guess if you're trying to get rid of something, I don't know why you'd throw it down the toilet because I don't know. Maybe use your magic to burn it up or something, but maybe that
Hey,
didn't
now
happen.
you're thinking, Jared. Now you're thinking.
I don't know. So somebody had this diary, and
And wanted to get rid of it.
I guess wanted to get rid of it, but dumped it down the toilet. Doesn't seem. Maybe Haggard did it. I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess after all of this information we just gathered in, what is the current running theory of the whole? What's the deal with the Chamber of Secrets? Who's the heir, and what's doing all this stuff now? What would you? What would your?
Who's Tom Riddle? He does. Did we talk about this a little? We talk about a little bit. We just have no idea. But
Well, what we know about him is that Ron had found a trophy from him for being performing good deeds or whatever for the school, and he won an award for that 50 years ago. And I think that's about all we know other than what this diary tells us, and that's him showing him catching Hagrid and this creature.
Jared, any
Yeah.
guesses on who he is, or
Well,
if he's even real?
I'm gonna assume he's real. I don't know. I mean, my initial thought was that whoever, like who, basically put him down, and then so that he wouldn't tell his story.
That's coming from where he says this was covered up.
Yes. So he's getting put down while who's building power up again, and then we'll read more. I don't. It's just interesting. Riddle seems to me more like Hermione, like a person who doesn't have the powers but is smart enough to figure things out.
Yeah, like logic.
Yes, so he was smart. He figured it out. He got to this point, and that's the end. And maybe, yeah, I don't know. Then we don't hear about him again. So that's kind of how I imagine Hermione. She could have maybe figured things out. Would have been sneaking
Piece two
around.
and two together.
Yep, and then got petrified and put into the Dark Lord's jail.
Okay.
Um,
So I guess back to the question I had. What's the running theory on what's the deal with all this stuff?
I guess I'm still kind of stick. Yeah, I guess I'm still kind of sticking to my original one that I kind of said last time. I think that who's still behind this and manipulating different pieces, whether that be through an evil large spider or and that there's a bunch of people that have been trying to capture it or know more about it. I would include Dumbledore in that, Haggard in that. People that haven't had enough power or haven't communicated with each other on how to figure this out. So it just keeps existing until Harry's around. So I guess I would still say it's who's behind it, using different means.
Would you say he's controlling this creature, this spider that you call it?
Yes. Yep.
So then, just based off how Hagrid communicates to this creature, he says, "Come on, we got to get you out of here. Come on now, in the box." Like he's coming to it like kindly almost, or he's trying to like trick it into getting into the box so he can capture it. You think that's a possibility?
Well, I guess I kind of thought of it like Hagrid had with the dragon. Like maybe Hagrid grew this thing up and then it became evil, or Hagrid grew this thing up and then then Voldemort entered it and it had certain powers or something like that.
So Voldemort's controlling this spider, and he's still. So the spider. So is this spider the one that's doing all the petrification and stuff then, or is that something completely different yet?
Yeah, I don't know. Does petrifying? Do you forget what happens? I can't remember if that was a thing or
I
not.
don't think we know.
I think they mentioned earlier in the book that
Oh yeah, they said that once they
when
give them
the
mandrakes, once they give them
they'll
mandrakes,
be
it'll be
able to
better, and then they can say what they saw.
yeah. So you don't lose your memory necessarily unless they do a memory erasing magic on you or something like that after you're petrified. Someone does, but or there's some sort of magical characteristic of this whatever's doing this that would do that.
Because I would remember if a big spider came over by me.
Probably.
I would too. I would. I mean, Ron did, and he's been scarred for life. So
Yeah, it's an interesting question.
so
I guess I don't know what it takes to petrify somebody. Yeah, other than Dumbledore said it's a evil dark magic, which I still assumed with you know who.
Maybe it's Medusa.
Medusa killed people.
No, everyone who looked
Turned
at
to stone.
whoever looked
turned
at
to
Medusa
stone.
turned into stone. There's your little Greek mythology for the month.
So I don't know how to phrase this question. So this creature, I guess, where are you at with the whole the monster? The chamber is like this box that you open and bad stuff happens. Like, where are you at with that now? Is that still part of this, and this is just another element?
Well, I'm getting a lot of information here, and I don't know where to piece it all into my puzzle. I mean, the creature obviously has something to do with it. I guess I still just don't think that the Chamber of Secrets is a thing. Maybe this creature.
Jared, it's on the cover of the book.
Maybe this what? Oh,
Chamber of Secrets. There's a doorway right there.
This Chamber of Secrets, when it's open, that monster comes back to life or around, or Voldemort is able to live inside of it for a period of time, or
So, I'm the way I'm picturing this in my head. Voldemort comes. He goes into this spider to control it. Opens the Chamber of Secrets. Runs out. Finds a person inside the spider. The spider births him. He petrifies the person, and he crawls back into the spider and runs away. That's
I'm picturing, yeah, I guess because we know Voldemort has to be in the body so I'm picturing Voldemort using this spider, work some charm through the spider, the person in the leg, and just shoots its venom through the body, and it's petrified.
Nailed it. You
And
might
then,
as well stop reading.
that could be it.
I don't
spider,
know.
like a spider bite petrifies him or something.
Yeah, I don't like that theory. I don't know.
So you keep going back to Voldemort, but how do you know he's even in this book? Like, this is all from Salazar Slytherin, right?
Yep. Because
Oh.
Voldemort's behind everything.
Okay.
Although I was expecting Harry in this dream or in this memory to have a burst of pain in his forehead, and that never happened.
Yeah.
Which was interesting to me. Like, I would have thought when that shock happened or whatever, then he opened the box and the light, that he would have just had a headache or something. That didn't happen, so I was a little bit like,
So maybe it's not.
maybe Voldemort isn't in that situation.
That's a really good thing to pick up on that I did not pick up on. That he would have had some sort of pain if it was Voldemort.
But yeah, I guess my gut always says that the power to open the chamber and the power to do some of this stuff is only by real dark magic, which the only person that I know is able to do that is you know who.
What about Malfoy's dad?
Yeah, he doesn't seem smart enough.
What about Snape?
Yeah, but Snape's a good guy now.
What about Lockhart?
Lockhart don't know anything.
Maybe that's just a ruse.
Could be.
Okay. Well, I think we're just kind of rambling on at this point, trying to pick as much out of Jared's brain as possible. And so I guess the running theory now is that the creature from the Chamber of Secrets, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, I'm just trying to summarize this. The creature is the spider. That's the Slytherin's monster. And somehow Voldemort's controlling the spider to petrify people, but we have not determined how that is yet.
Yes, I'd agree with that summary.
Okay. Yeah. So that kind of wraps up this section of the chapters. Taylor, you have anything you wanted to add?
Happens in the next few chapters.
Yeah, a lot happens. We did this last time, Jared. It was a good idea that Stefan gave us, and that is to look at the picture for the cover of the next chapter, and try and come up with any sort of idea of what will happen in the next chapter. So, chapter 14 on page 249. What do you think's going to happen?
Big 12 football will happen this year.
Those of you that don't have the book, it's a picture of a scroll with a Roman numeral 12 on it. So, not a lot of information to be had there.
What's the name of the chapter, Jared?
Cornelius Fudge.
You know who that is?
Nope.
Or what that is?
Nope.
Could be the guy opening the Chamber of the Secrets. Anyway,
Maybe it's a guy who's opening
And
a candy
it could
store.
not be.
And it could not be. We'll find out. Anyways, we'll wrap it up here. Taylor, if you have anything else you wanted to add or not.
Nope. Never. Like always, no.
Like always, Taylor's nothing to add. Okay, next time, we only have 2 more episodes left in this book, guys. We're really plowing through this. So 2 more episodes and we'll be done with this book. That's a big step for us. But the next episode is going to cover chapters 14 through 16.
Yep.
And then the last episode will cover chapter 17 and 18. So 14 and 16 next, 14 through 16 next for whoever is reading along with us. I'm sure Justin, Danielle, I'm sure there's all kinds of you people out there. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. With that, we will let you all go. So thanks everybody for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Jared had a lot of good takes and information coming out this week, and stuff's actually starting to happen. So hang around here to see how this book ends. But don't forget to rate and review us if you haven't already on iTunes. I think it's iTunes, right? Yeah. I got to get this down. It may not seem like much, but it really does help us out. Like I said earlier in the show, we have a Facebook page and Twitter, which is at Secret Keepers Pod, so you can let us know all the different comments or anything you wanted to let us know, maybe who you would turn into for a Polyjuice potion or what your Polyjuice potion would look like or taste like. Who knows? But if you want to take a next step in supporting the show, you can always check us out on Patreon. But that's all for now. So until next time, we solemnly swear we'll be up to no good. And scene.
Jared didn't say anything.